suppose I better end the turn, because I can't think of anything else that he's doing. Apart from moving you guys there. How many guys are there in those by default? Yeah, 120. So we irritatingly lost quite a lot of legionaries in that auto-resolve earlier. That displeases me somewhat. Whatever. Yeah, profit's getting pretty low now. Ostrogoths are at war with the Alemanni for some arbitrary reason. The Alemanni have broken their alliance with the Eastern Roman Empire. I didn't even realise they were allied with the Eastern Roman Empire, but apparently they were. And now they've declared they're allied with the Western Roman Empire. Interesting. Are they... What are these guys doing? Allied? They're allied with the Huns and the Alemanni. And the Eastern Roman Empire are... what exactly? They're allied with the Ostrogoths and they're at war with the Huns. And the Sassanids. Curious. I mean, generally speaking, the West and the East do end up at war with each other when they're controlled by the AI eventually. It's just they're not at war right now. They've just got a broken alliance, so they're kind of teetering on the brink, if you like. I don't know. Strange. You know, the mod makers, and I think it was like this in the original Barbarian Invasion as well anyway, but yeah, the mod makers decided they would, they didn't want to go the route in the, like in the original game where the, you know, where the Roman factions are forced to be allied with one another, and therefore they share the same line of sight and stuff, but in this they're just two separate factions who happen to be allied at the start of the game. So, I guess it's alright. It gives the opportunity for, like, some good old-fashioned Roman civil wars. And there were lots of them in this period, so, you know, makes sense, I guess. Oh, and the Burgundians are attacking Avaricum. Well, they're making more progress than the Franks, at least. The Franks have been kind of stuck in a stalemate with the Constantini around here for ages now.
Yes, master. Moving.
Good on you, Burgundians, I suppose. You take them down with your inferior barbarian troops, and whoa, hello there. That's a big stack of units.
Yes, master.
What are you doing hiding all over there by the coast when you should be defending your cities? Oh, well, I tell you what, mostly it's composed of auxiliary swordsmen and stuff, and mercenaries, and... yeah, it's a lot of auxiliaries and skirmishers and stuff. Yeah, their army's a mess. It's almost as bad as mine. And a random unit of British military stationarii for some reason. Like, how did they even get there? But apparently they're fighting in the army of Constantine. Okay, whatever. Interesting. Well. End turn time, I guess. Hello, what happened up there? I didn't get a chance to see what the hell that was. What's going on? Oh, did he just march into Innsbruck? Oh, fair enough. Can we raise the tax rate a bit now? We can. Profits of 5,000, that's nice. Militia barracks done, legionaries done. An alliance between the Alemanni and the Saxons, well that's not good. Terribly good anyway, I mean it doesn't affect us a great deal, but still. Alright, troops. I guess you'll be disembarking next turn. Fine. Actually no, you don't necessarily have to, I don't think. You can actually, yeah, the legionaries can get out and head straight to Londinium for retraining, I guess. Meanwhile, those ones can head over to Venturi Sonorum. Yeah, well, I guess. Hopefully I can secure a peace treaty with these guys. If I can't, it's going to be terribly awkward, but I don't think they'll pose much of a threat regardless. But I will keep sending spies up here to keep an eye on them. But yeah, I think we'll probably give up on the Saxons for now, and our next target is going to be Condata over here. I'd like to grab it from the Constantini before they collapse from the pressure from the Franks and the Burgundians. So, yeah, that'll be our next target, I think. There's nothing wrong with declaring war on the Imperium Constantini now anyway, because the only settlement we're trading with them now is Condata, and once we have it, there won't be any point in trading. So we'll trade with our own settlements, you know. I mean, look, see, we're Tara's trading with Camelot stuff, so we won't necessarily lose any trade, but we'll get in a settlement. Even if it does have eastern walls for some reason, which are damaged apparently. Most bizarre, but anyway. Hopefully that will mean we'll be able to just jump off the boats and attack it straight away without having to worry about standing around with doing a siege. We'll probably have to deal with these guys, but that shouldn't prove too difficult because that is an absolute mess of an army, that is. That doesn't even deserve to be called an army, it's more like an armed band of random brigands and mercenaries, honestly.
On my way.
Question is, will these guys manage to take Avaricum? You would think they would, but who knows? The auto-resolving for the AI battles are all kinds of crazy, so yeah. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break now. And when I come back, I'm going to end the turn again, I guess, and we'll see what unfolds in the meantime. Although before I do that, I'm just going to move you over to the boat before I forget. So yeah, anyway. Alright, I'm back. And yeah, we should probably end the turn now, so let's go. Let's see what happens this turn. Maybe the Burgundians will sack that town. No, they're just still laying siege. I'm really curious to see what happens with that. Oh, another family member. Sweet. Villa Rustica. Oh, those super advanced farms that I was building. Right, gotcha. What's the description for that say? I'm curious. Where's it gone? In earlier times, villas were places where rich Romans could not only cultivate land, but also enjoy the countryside gentleman's life. All work was done by slaves and controlled by other slaves. For example, there was the villicus, whose duty was to manage the other slaves, to take care of the farm animals and implements, and to manage all the operation of the farm, as written by Cato in De Agricultura. He was not allowed to leave the villa except to go to the market. He was not allowed to have intercourse with soothsayers. What? That's a bit random. But apparently there you go. The times of the late Roman Empire, villas are more often constructed and run by liberti, freedmen who serve their master in a more bureaucratic and professional manner. The owners are less likely to be rich gentlemen than to be businessmen. Production has also become more specialized. Extensive crop cultivation or cattle breeding needs the work of hundreds of slaves. Even a little villa is as organized as a little city, maybe more. Yeah, so we've got some pretty super duper advanced farmland going on down here in Londinium, which is pretty sweet. I'd like to see that. We've got 28 grand, so that's, I'm feeling a bit flush. So why not build some stuff? Right, that's not going to have any benefit. Will the Great Forum help us though? Yes, it will. Well, what about Temple of Sol Invictus? No, that's no good. It's a bit pointless, really. Stables? That's a neat idea, I suppose. Baluster range. Blacksmith. Actually, that's a good idea. Yeah, a blacksmith. Let's do that. Right, you guys move into there. You guys move into there. I've had an idea with these legionaries. Basically, what I think I want to do is I want to start building some proper Roman legions, as in I want them to be organized like Roman legions and not just a big mob of troops, essentially. So, right, you guys hop off the boat for starters. This boat needs to head back this way so I can drop that diplomat off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Seniana stand over here. And I'm going to start organising this stuff. So, we have Senianus. We need a cavalry detachment. A vexillation, I think it's called, of cavalry. So we'll have them, the Allens, I guess. Can I merge them? bit more? Yeah, I can. Right, that'll be the cavalry detachment for the Legion. Well, to go with the Legions. And we need an actual... at least one Legion. I think I have enough guys to make up one Legion. No, not quite, actually, I don't. But, we have one unit of archers who apparently can't go and stand over there with Sanianus for some reason, but anyway. Can I make Sanianus go stand next to them? No, apparently not. That's very strange, but anyway. We have one unit of archers and 1, 2, 3 units of legionaries who can't move. Can these ones move? Apparently oh, it's a mess, but anyway. Here's the general gist. We'll have a Roman legion of the period consists of about, let me think. No, I've just realised our legionary cohorts here, they're actually, well, they're not cohorts either, they're called Ordines. They're actually under strength, I've just realised, because one Ordo in the actual Roman army during this period was 200 men, whereas ours are about 110, 120, which is a bit under strength. I think it's because we're the British and we're a bit useless like that, but basically the general idea is you would have 6 units of 200 men which make up a legion. A late Roman legion, except we might have to make that a bit more or less, I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to have extra small legions. Because where are those fleet archers? Or fleet sailors or whatever. Because basically my plan was to get 3 units of legionaries accompanied by 1 unit of fleet sailors as archers and 2 units of Celtic kerns as sort of javelin throwing auxiliaries, because the Romans used instead of because Celtic auxiliaries, which I'd be using, the Romans used these guys.
Yes, master.
You see,
secrecy is assured.
Exculatores or whatever they're called. These guys, they're basically just ordinary legionaries, like say them, who have basically they're on skirmishing duties essentially. And the same goes for their archers, because the legionaries, you didn't have specific units of archers and specific units of skirmishers. In a Roman legion, you just had a whole bunch of legionaries, and then depending on the battle, some of them would take up skirmishing duties, and some of them would take up archery duties, because they were trained for all roles. But for us, I thought I'd improvise a bit, use fleet sailors as our archers, our British legionaries as our heavy infantry, and I would use Celtic kerns as our skirmishers, and then I'd make up our legions like that, except ours would be a bit under strength compared to an ordinary Roman legion, because our units of legionaries here, they're not 200 men strong. So like the guys, literally the other Roman factions in this game do have units of legionaries about 200 or so strong. So you can actually do it with those guys, but with us it's a bit more difficult. But I do want to have some semblance of organisation regardless. It makes it easier to just manage all our armies that way. So anyway, these guys, bollocks, I needed to retrain them actually. Never mind. Blech, whatever. We'll do it all next turn. Can we build anything in Ventura Sonorum in the meantime? Go out the way, banners. Thank you. Stone walls. Nah, nothing really. Buricum. A blacksmith, why not? Camelot. Comites barracks. And in turn. Whee. Ah, there we go, look. Oh, Madron's dead. Oh, it had to happen sometime, I guess. That's a shame. I guess Cadell is now the king of the Britons. King Cadell. That has a nice ring to it, I have to admit. King. +2 influence, +1 command, +3 to personal security. Sweet. There we go, King Cadell. Now then, let's fucking sort this mess out. You guys, back in there. you guys out here. You guys there. Right, so yeah, we've got the cavalry detachment, which would be roughly about that big, I think. We've got 1, 2, 3 units of heavy infantry. We've got the unit fleet sailors. Now all we need is a couple of units of Celtic kerns, so that's not a problem. In fact, I can recruit 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Oh, they're 1 turn to recruit. Yeah, that's a shame. I could use levies, but I don't think they actually deploy in a proper usable formation. They're like the Dimber; they deploy in a horde formation. So I'm going to go with the kerns instead. So yeah, they're lightly armed, unarmored skirmishers used by the Celtic tribes to harass and wear down their enemies. Armed with small javelins, kerns are better in battle than the peasant stock from whom they are recruited. They are properly trained for war, given decent weaponry, and let loose on the enemy. They are best employed as a screening force to weaken an enemy before the main battle, or to pursue fleeing men and give them no rest. They cannot be expected to stand in a battle line and fight hand to hand. See, that's the main downside with these guys compared to the actual Roman exculatores, or whatever they're... I still have no idea how to pronounce half these names, so I'm just going to have to be content with getting them wrong. The exculatores can actually still fight in a battle line if needs be. You know, obviously they're not quite as good as these milites or the heavy infantry, but they can still hold their own against light barbarian troops, whereas our kerns won't be able to do that. So in every respect, our legions are going to be pretty inferior to the Roman ones, but they will still hopefully be able to beat up plenty of barbarians. Besides, I want to use some of these Celtic units. Actually, we've got access to them, so why the hell not, you know? I could even use some of these Celtic cavalry. Really, they make decent enough auxiliaries. Cavalry auxiliaries, anyway. They 0 turns to recruit. They have low upkeep as well. That's the thing about them I like the most.
Ready to sail.
In any case, wait a minute. Did I put the bloody diplomat in that boat? Where? Oh, he's in this army instead because I got everyone out of it. And oh. I'll admit I'm playing this like the morning after I was playing this last night. It's been a day during that break I took, so I'm a bit scatterbrained as to where everything is and all that kind of shit. So I'm getting everything wrong at the minute, I'm afraid, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my ineptitude. Anyway, yeah, the Burgundians took Avaricum, Vienensis. So that leaves the Constantini with... oh, well, they don't have Narbonensis either, so that leaves the Constantini with Lugdunensis Prima and Lugdunensis Tertia. That's it. That's all they have left. The Burgundians have everything. They have Arelate, they have Narbo, and they have Burgidala, and they have Avaricum. The Franks have Lugdunum, Augusta Treverorum, Treverorum, or whatever you pronounce it as, and they have Colonia Agrippina, as well as Saramara Breva and Hato Magus. So there we go. The Roman Empire is officially collapsing. It's interesting to watch, frankly. I don't think I've ever got this far in a campaign that I wasn't playing as the Romans in, so... Interesting. These guys are still standing around doing absolutely nothing for some reason. Whatever. Rome Total War AI. It's just how it works. We could make up some legions as well using Pedites Romani instead of the actual legionaries if we wanted to, because they would fulfill the roles of like the Limitane legions that the Romans use. With, you know, these guys would be normally called Limitane, and they're just lightly armoured versions of actual Roman legionaries, like these guys here. These milites, they are Limitane. The Limitane, the frontier or garrison troops of the late Roman Empire, are mostly made up of less well-equipped milites. Close to a local militia, but members of the standing army nonetheless. The task is to watch the borders and slow down enemy forces so that stronger mobile armies can be deployed. So there you go. If I were to take the Rhine frontier from the Franks at some point in the distant future, I'd probably garrison the Rhine crossings with units of Pedites Romani, and they would fulfill the same function as the Roman milites. So there you go.